Hello everybody, my name is Savannah aka Savvy Shades, and today I am going to be showing you how I got this look right here. It is inspired by the new Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette that we will be diving into everything today and sharing my thoughts on what I think of the palette and is it worthy enough to be in the Blood family. Coming up. For today's video, we have a very special guest. It is called Bloodlust, and when you open it up, this is the component that it comes in, so this isn't the actual palette. Nice little protector guard that comes out with it. Those are really cool just to keep. It's really nice to like put your palette back in it, especially if you travel. And so this is her in all of her glory. We have this little moment right here that opens her up. And it does come with a protective layer, but I was opening this yesterday and so I took that off. Also, the mirror does come with a protective cover on it too, and this is the palette. I've already dipped into quite a lot of them, so some of them are already trashed. She is so beautiful, so perfect. There is, of course, the Jeffree Star logo on the back. This, which is actually the Jeffree Star formed over a crown. And I mean, the detail and the velvet on this is not a normal palette. This is by far some of the most expensive packaging on a palette that I personally have, and I think the packaging alone should have made this palette like $65–70. So shout out to Jeffree for keeping that price point right, girl. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the right eye today. As always, I'm using my Louise base. Taking a little flat tail brush, buffing that in, just setting a nice base for me to apply some eyeshadow on top of. I don't want any discoloration in my eyeshadow, especially when you're doing a purple look. I really don't know what colors to use in this. I am torn. Because I really want to use Blood Queen and Vile Serpent, but I also really like Scandal Water. Maybe we can create a look with all three of these colors some way, somehow. Let's go for it, and if we don't like it, we can take it all off because it's makeup and start over. So let's go in. So we're gonna be dipping into Vile Serpent first. This is a turquoise color. We are just gonna start building this up in our outer V area. Okay, now that we have a very pigmented blue Vile Serpent, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into Blood Queen with a Morphe M562, my favorite brush of all time. And we are just gonna be blending this right on top of the Vile Serpent. I'm working with really small areas while I'm blending these on top of each other because I don't want to get too close to the brow. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Vivid Moon, which is just a very light lavender shade, and I'm going to brush that lightly on top of this purple shade. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Beauty Sleep just for my brow highlight. Let's talk about eyeshadow real fast. So after you apply your primer, you apply the shades that you want, you blend for as long as it takes for you to be happy with the look. Even if that means sometimes taking off the look, repriming your eyes and starting all over again, sometimes that's what you have to do in order to get what you want. But once your base is done, then you can actually start manipulating the shades on top of that, whether it being like a half cut crease, a full cut crease. You want to do like negative space type of look where, you know, there's liner through it or eyeliner, anything, you know, the options are endless, but everything starts with putting a base of eyeshadow down and creating whatever else you want on top of it. For me personally today, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do a cut crease, one of my favorite styles for my eye shape personally. For that, I just like to get a feel of where my eyelids are gonna close and where people are still gonna be able to see where my cut crease is throughout the whole day. So I just like to put a little stamp and then I'm just gonna look up and kind of look around real fast. And then you'll see that that actually leaves a line of where you need to go, and that will be the highest point of your cut crease will be where you stamped that spot, and you can kind of work off of that. So now that everything's cut out, before we set anything, we are just going to blend this concealer line with the Vile Serpent. I think I want to do purple metallic on the lid. Yes. So for that, I'm going to be grabbing some Morphe setting spray to mist down my brush. And I'm dipping into a little bit of the shade Take the Crown. I'm just going to be tapping that. Okay, keeping it in the family. Now I'm going to be dipping into the Blue Blood palette, the shade Cullinan. Now I am taking a handy dandy makeup remover wipe. And I am just going to clean up this area right here. Start off a little low and then you can always work your way up. Wow, Very rarely do I get that right. Okay, so now this eye is done, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera, and we will be back for the rest of the look. So we are back with both eyes done, and now I am taking a brow pencil and just sketching out the drips on my face. And I'm keeping a makeup remover handy with me so I can erase the drips and start over again. I'm not wearing any foundation, so I can get it absolutely perfect to how I want it to be. Now that the outline for the drips are done, I'm gonna go ahead and start my foundation. For that, I always like using the Dior Forever Undercover foundation, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on my face. Don't need a lot today. And I'm just gonna try to keep this above the drip line. For under my cheek, I am taking a beauty blender to buff in my foundation. It's okay if a little bit of the foundation gets on top of the drips. Just more important that everything is blended. Now I'm taking my KKW Beauty Contour Stick, and I am running a little bit on top of my forehead. Now I'm taking a little bit of my Tarts Shape Tape, placing a little bit under the eyes. And now with a beauty blender, I am just buffing this all in. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of foundation on the back of my hand. And with a tiny brush that has a bit of an angle to it, or like a bit of a curve to it, just taking a little bit of that. I'm taking some translucent powder, and I'm just gonna set this face, girl. Currently 7 o'clock, and I really wanted to be done filming by 8, but does that look like that's happening? No. And that's my own damn fault, because I've just been taking my sweet ass time to get ready. Like, we are going to take some bronzer, and I am going to be using the Marc Jacobs bronzer in Tantastic, one of my favorite bronzers of all time. I'm just going to dippy. Oh, bronzer. Okay, yeah, well, this is the only place we can add bronzer to, so. Word. Okay. I'm so scared. I hate doing this. I really do. Let's attack the plan. Let's attack it. Let me explain my look idea a little bit more. So I want to do this print. Okay, so I want to do Bloodlust. Okay, under the drips. You follow me? I'm going to make it like this purple as much as I can. Let's see how close we can get it. So I'm using my CC Beauty, and we are just going to try to achieve a purple here. So this is the concoction we got on my hand right now, and we are just going to pop this and pray it gives us a good color. Okay, so once you've played around with your color a little bit, I'm going to show you guys my color match. So this is the color I was going for, and this is the color that I just made by mixing pink, turquoise, red, and blue, equal parts of all of them. And now you know what time it is. It's time to slap this shit on my face. And I don't like that time. I look like I have a purple mustache. I think I might need to take it all the way down, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna wait till the very end to do that, because that just seems like a whole lot of bullshit. I'm gonna get really close to do the drips, and we will be right back. Now that we have the drips in place, we are going to keep it going. I'm like, which brush do I want to ruin today? I am going to be setting this with some translucent powder. Going in with Big Bertha, and we are just going to stamp our way through this. It's starting to feel a little stiff, ladies and gentlemen. That means that the translucent powder is doing its job. Okay, so now that this whole area is set for the most part, we're gonna go back in with a little bit of foundation on the back of my hand. We are just gonna clean up these drips a bit more. So as you guys can see, I've added some black underneath them to act as shadow for the drips, and now I am going to move on to the scary part, which is going to be painting the words Bloodlust on. This could honestly make or break the whole look. Let's go in. Okay, going in for the B. Okay, I'm gonna come back after the B is done.
2 hours later.
I went ahead and did the blood on it. And now I'm like, what do I do with all this empty space right there? I don't know, man. This look is very frustrating. But we're gonna keep on going. I'm just gonna get right back into it. And we're gonna start off by doing the lust side.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, last letter, last letter, last letter. And then I'm gonna go in and clean them up. Okay, so now I'm taking some gold, and I'm just putting that all over. I don't really know. But like little flecks of gold, like isn't that kind of cute? I think that's kind of cute. I took the purple all the way down because I feel like it was just looking a little weird being like that. With the same, okay, my hands like this is like, I am going to take the same gold paint that I was using earlier and do the same exact thing all on the bottom. It's really random with this, not trying to be perfect or precise in any way. And we will be right back. I just went ahead and popped on the Bold Face Makeup Lashes in Babe Allure and put on some mascara as I normally do. I'm going to be taking some Morphe lip gloss in the shade Boho. I'm just gonna put that right in my center. So good, so fresh, so nice. Okay, some highlight, of course. And I'm using some Wet n Wild in the shade Precious Petals. And I'm really just dusting that on my nose, a little on that forehead, cheeks, of course. I want it to look like I can lead Santa's sleigh, baby, okay? Alrighty guys, so that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching me play with the new Bloodlust palette. Thumbnail. It is honestly one of the best palettes that I've ever played with. I thought I was gonna be a little sad that there was a lot of pastel in there and there wasn't a lot of vibrant colors, but as you can see, that is not an issue. And there is still a lot of deep colors that you can work with. There's a lot of shimmer shades in there. I honestly think that this palette was perfect and I expected nothing less than perfect from Jeffree, and he delivered. He delivers every single time, baby. So yeah, I'm really happy with the palette. If you guys want to keep up with all of my other social medias, I'm going to put them down in that description box down below. And also hit that subscribe button and that bell notification while you're down there. And I will see you guys in my next video.